So let me actually explain what's going on under the hood of Claude Code. Claude Code is basically a set of instructions, and it is located. If you go to your side, to the sidebar here, and there's customize button, click on it, and you'll see skills and connectors. Basically, and once you click on skills, this is where your skills will be located. I have a skill called front end design, but every Claude, instance as which is basically every Claude code as a skill creator, which is a skill that creates skills itself. So this is like a iteration of improving itself. So a skill to create other skills so that you don't have to do it yourself. And all you have to do is basically prompt the system that, oh, I need this code and whatever. And it's going to generate a new skill for you with your own, style and flair or whatever that you like to add in your code. So there are two parts of a skill, which is the description and the actual, guidance to generate a better prompt for you using the skills. And the thing about skills is that whenever you whenever you create a prompt, whenever you write a prompt, it goes through the list of skills that it has and sees if it can use a skill that is already in your personal skills. It sees if you can use any of the skills to generate a better response, more personalized to you. Because right now, what Claude does generally is just it kind of assimilates all the data that it has been trained on, and it tries to generate a fairly good output. But if you have a skill and a particular way of writing things or response, you can actually tell it to generate things the way it wants. So, as I was saying, a skill has two parts, which is create new skills, which is sorry, the description, and, and the description for this skill creator is to create new skills. So, if you prompt it to create a new skill, it's going to go through the skill list, and it's going to create a new skill using what this is. And this is the guidance and the set of descriptions for it to follow, which is very detailed, and it's basically a prompt which is a very detailed prompt for specific things that you like to do. And without further ado, I'm gonna generate a new prompt with a new skill with basically a skill creator, which is also a skill itself. So I'm gonna do that right now, and I'm going to test out the um the skill it generated for me. So I'm going to generate a skill with the skill creator skill, and I have a prompt already, loaded in my paste, in my copy and paste button. So I'm just going to paste it out and see what it generates for me. So what Claude is going to do is it's going to go to the skill creator and generate this particular skill that I'm looking for. So let me read the prompt out loud. I want to create a Claude skill for writing YouTube video descriptions. Here is my style. Start with the punchy two hook line. No, in this video, like I don't want to start the discussion with in this video I did this or whatever. Include 3 to 5 stamps in the format. Zero, like include timestamps. Use conversational tones. End with a call to action. Drop a comment. Use 2 to 3 relevant emojis max. Never at the start of the lines, and always include a link mentions section if empty. So I'm going to actually use this skill for this video, and it's going to generate a description for what is basically this video that I'm creating. And so I'm going to prompt it, and I'm going to generate a new skill. And if I go back to customize after this is done, it is going to you're going to see a set of like a new skill, which is generate YouTube description. So the thing about like skills is that you can have templates, examples, much more detailed things that you want your code or your response to look like, or your writing to look like. And especially if you're very picky about your code, because I mostly use it for coding. And I would say I have preference in, you can have it like set preferences for the way you code, or follow particular guidelines, especially if you work in a company that has very strict rules or whatever. So right now I think it is done generating the skill, and I don't need to actually know what is in the skill, as long as my prompt is a very very compact prompt, is now a basically um like detailed and very context packed skills description. So we are going to look at the skills right now. So we're going to go to customize, and then the skills connector. Okay, I'm not seeing it here. Maybe I should do a refresh or something. Let's go to my chat. I go to my chat. So, oh, okay. Sorry, I made a mistake. So right now, this is the skill.md. So I just basically have to save the skill. Once I save it, I have not actually read it, but we're gonna look at it right now and see what it has generated for us. So we're gonna go to skills, and here it is. Here is the YouTube description. So here is the YouTube skill. I mean, so a skill has two parts: the description and you know the template for you to follow, so that I can generate everything. So as you can see, it's a fairly detailed description of how I want my YouTube description to be. So I think this is a good guideline for for testing out different things that you want. So you can just like continue to iterate and improve it, especially as long as you want. So I'm gonna go to back to um my chat and Claude skill. Yeah. So we're actually going to test out this skill that it just generated for me, and we're going to see the output, whether it's a good, it's a good like skill or something I need to improve on. So before I actually show you the skill in action itself, I want to first auto improve it, and this is basically the skill improving itself. And maybe because I've tested it and I don't like what I see, which I haven't in this scenario, but let's just say I have tested it and I see a couple of things that I want to, tweak in the skill and the way it works. So this is a new prompt that says, okay, I have been using the YouTube description skill for a while and I want to improve it. Two things first. The timestamp should also include a one-line description after the topic, like, why most people get this wrong or whatever. Use an example you want. Be very like descriptive. And add a rule that the hook should always reference a pain point or a question the viewer already has. Update the skill to reflect these changes. So I'm going to update like the skill without even touch, touching the skill. So this is actually very funny because you created the skill without knowing what the skill is. You don't have to go in there. You just have to write, create a very, very compact, tiny little prompt that you can say, okay, go ahead and do this. And it goes ahead and, it generates a whole skill for you. You test it out. If you don't like it, you have to improve it. You keep on, improving and improving it and until you get a very, tight skill that you can use for your everyday thing. So right now, as you can see, it is making changes to the skill.md file. You can see it is adding lines, removing lines, and it's actually and the thing is, I don't have to know anything about what it is doing. All I have to know is like when I test it, does it do what I want? Does it, you know, is the output very satisfactory to me? And do I like what I'm saying? So right now, I'm going to save the skill. I'm gonna save the skill. So let's take a look. So right now it's the same replace YouTube description skill. So yeah, say update and replace, and it's gonna do it for me. Yeah, there we go. So here is the new, YouTube description script, YouTube description scale. Here is the description, and there is the scale itself, the prompts, the examples, the template that she follows. It even gave it good examples and bad examples, and you know the thing about like God, I mean, I'm so in love with this feature of Claude Code. Like it's I don't know. It feels like if you can get it to do what you want, God, especially if you can even write your own skills yourself and you're very particular about some things, you can get it to be a very good chatting. Oh my goodness, I'm just thinking about like how many ways people can implement Claude skills because let's take a look at the output of this one. Is this the same? Because I want to show you guys the difference between the two. But if I can't, that's fine. But basically, this is a new skill. And if you go back to our skills, you will see that it's only just one YouTube description, which is basically the updated version of what we just did. So basically, an auto improve version, auto improve, auto improve skill of like it's I don't know what more I need to say other than why are you not using skills, honestly. So right now I'm gonna test out the prompt. I'm gonna prompt the Claude to use the video description, not explicitly, but I'm gonna say I want to generate a YouTube video description for this particular video. So right now I have a prompt here also. So I'm gonna type it out and give me a second. Okay, so this is the prompt I'm going to prompt Claude to generate a video description. So let me just copy this. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna create a new chart so that you guys can see that it doesn't even have to be in the same chat. So basically, write a YouTube video description for a video about how to use Claude Skills, which is this video that I'm actually making. And I'm going to use this uh, particular response of this output to generate. Sorry, I'm going to use the response of this prompt to in my video basically, and I'll see if the video actually does well. So yeah, so right now is what did it say? It said it is reading YouTube description skill, and it's done. And yeah, so here is the description that I'm going to use in the YouTube. Is it a bit long for me personally? Yes, I think so. So maybe that is something I'll fix in if I continue to use this particular skill, or maybe I'll just write one myself personally. So I don't know. Is it a, so? Let me actually read this first. You're using Cloud Code skills. Uh Yeah, so it is still giving like AI vibes. Like I can tell it is definitely written by a very by non-human basically. So I know it is very generic. It is very so I maybe do not like this style. So maybe I can just try to auto update, auto improve it. And yeah, maybe I might actually get it to something decent. But for now, I'm gonna use this description for this YouTube video and we'll see how it goes. So let me zoom out for a second and give a general view of Claude Skills. Most people use Claude AI as a type of search engine. You do this and it does like you type in a prompt and it generates whatever. So right. But what about like you reverse the relationship of that and say do this for me in a way that I would do it, which is basically a skill. So now you are getting more out of the prompt, and it is getting much more. Even though, yeah, like the only thing I have about this is it uses much more tokens. But the thing is, would you rather have it generate the right prompt once, or have it continue to reiterate with bad responses until you get the right one? So it's a pick a poison type of thing. Either you use the token, responsibly, or you use the token wastefully. So, yeah. So this is a very unique thing about like Claude skills. I noticed. I just like the fact that I can, you know, make it personalized. I can use it to, generate prompts that I think I would be able to say, okay, I agree with what it is. That I agree with what it is generating, and it is a skill that you can use to generate a method of you working or things that just like there's limitless this thing. There's a limitless the sky is the limit for this basically, and you only have to create it once. I don't, the remaining time to just to auto improve it. So let me know what you guys are gonna use Claude skills for. What skills you're gonna generate, what things you're gonna implement with Claude skills. So that's it for this video. I hope I've been able to convince you that stop using AI as like a search engine. Use it for more, and see you in the next one. Bye.